Hi, I'm Rachel Whitefield, certified life coach, and with me is our resident swiping sorceress, Jackie Black. Thank you for joining us on another fabulous episode of Whiskey Bent
Spellbound with Black.
and Whitefield.
All right, Rachel, let's get back to our part two with our special guest, Madeline, and talking about dating again in our 40s.
I'll meet you there.
All right, so we are now let's just move on to the next subject because it is really super important when it comes to like dating and doing the apps and like going into it, whether you're dating casually like I am or for a partner like Madeline is, and probably the way Rachel is going to want to date for a
Mhm.
partner. Empowerment on these apps and saying no without guilt. Because here's the thing, I know Madeline is a professional at saying no without guilt, and I know for a fact Rachel is, but I am not. I am a people pleaser through and through, and I actually feel so guilty when I have to cancel on a date.
It's a learned skill.
It is
Mhm.
so hard. I feel like constantly, like if somebody asks me out and then it comes on the day and I'm like, I don't want to do this, I actually feel guilty for canceling. Like I feel like I have to please this person and I have to go on the date and I have to like pretend to enjoy it. But it genuinely wasn't until I met Rachel who gave me the permission to just straight up cancel.
Mhm.
Rachel, how do I get that strength?
I always say when it comes up to like on dating apps, I'm like, you gotta go frog kissing, and then you just have to go through it enough where it doesn't touch you anymore. Like if someone cancels on you or ghosts you or whatever, I'm like, it has nothing to do with me, And so, like, if the vibe is off or whatnot, I'm like, I don't want to go on this date anymore. Just be like, hey, just be vague. Something came up and I'm not available. And then if he's still into you, then you could say, oh, hey, would you like to reschedule or whatever? But it's like, I go back and forth on this as well of like, people are saying, oh, ghosting is so terrible. But it's like, say what you need to say and then stop talking. Like if they want to like, oh, why or blah 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 or like, hey, I don't think the vibe's there. Like I appreciate you, nothing but the best. And then they might want to like, oh, why or blah blah blah. I don't have to explain myself. I already said something. I told you I don't want to give you any more of my time. I do not have to give you my time anymore, nor do I have to justify anything saying moving forward. Like
Yeah.
I said what I said. Boom. Like if it's a boundary, it's a boundary.
Hell yes.
You know,
You
like,
actually gave me the boundary to
hmm
be able to say no.
because
I've always been like such a people pleaser and I felt like I was obligated. And you
you're
were the one who was just like, "Oh, you actually say no."
because no one's going to put you first in your own life except you. You have to put yourself first. You are putting a stranger before your own needs, wants, desires, and intuition. And I was like, that is not about it. So if you're just like, hey, I'm not feeling it, like, hey, I do want to go out with you, but something came up and today's not the day or I'm not feeling it, I would give an option to reschedule. But if you just don't want to go because someone gave you the ick, just be like, hey, I'm no longer available. Thank you so much. Like it is not worth me going through all of this to be like, I don't even want to be here. I'm not showing up as my best self, so I'm not going to. And then you're like, oh, I'm on. And then what if are you fawning? Are you putting yourself in a situation that you didn't even want to be in the first place? Even if it is dinner, now you're like, again, time is so precious. It's the one resource we don't ever get back. And now I am on this 2 hour date with this time that I can't ever get back, that I could be spending time with my dog, rhinestoning. I could like, are you better than the peace that I bring to myself? And
Right.
if that answer is no, you don't owe a stranger off the internet anything. You don't
Dude,
owe them anything. And that
that
guilt
was
is the only one that you carry. They're not going to think about you. You're just also a stranger on the internet. And if they're going to hold it against the next woman in line, that is a them problem, not a you problem.
I have to tell, yeah, literally golf clap for real.
Yes.
I have never canceled on anybody so fast as when Rachel, oh my God,
Gave you
Rachel
permission.
gave me permission. She was like, hey, you don't know this person. You can actually cancel whenever you want, and then you can block them, and it is not going to change your life at all. And I was like, nah.
Yeah. Because it's like I'm the priority of my life, and I'm going to prioritize a stranger that has not earned the place in my life to be there. I
That
don't,
makes no sense.
it doesn't make any sense. So, yeah,
No.
you can cancel and you can ghost if it's just like, you're not, I don't need this.
Oh, Madeline, we've heard her fucking stories already. She will just unmatch.
Hmm.
She
Oh,
will just
absolutely.
unmatch. Madeline, can you tell me about how you held that boundary and feel what made you say, yeah, I'm not actually going to feel any guilt over this unmatch or block? Because I watched you do it in person and I was like, yeah, but wait a minute. What? You know what I'm saying? So like what is the trigger for you that you say you're able to say in your head like I actually can block. I don't have to go out with this person. I don't have to fawn at all. Because I feel like that's the
Mhm.
thing for women. We're like, "Oh, we're just going to go out with them because we've been talking to them for a minute."
Hmm.
So, I mean, for me, I do feel the older that I get, the more I'm able to communicate more efficiently and clearly. And so, in situations when I was younger where I would have like ghosted more often, I do kind of step up and try to communicate a little bit more now, in a way that I definitely didn't before. But I kind of gauge every situation differently, right? So, a man that I've matched with online, I owe him nothing, right? Like absolutely nothing. And so, yeah, I mean, as soon as,
Wait, hold on. I think we need to pause on this.
Mhm.
If we match with a man online, we need to repeat it. We owe them nothing because
Hmm.
there's
Right.
women like me who are on these regular apps who think that they want a partner and they think that they need to go out with these men because they have matched and they've been talking for a minute. They need to hear this. You own these men nothing. You owe them nothing. You can unmatch at any point and you can block them at any point. You do not owe them a date.
Hmm. And then even, once you start going on dates with them, um, I have found that men are so quick to try to kind of like pressure and like, they all want the idea of a woman who's being dated and who is on the apps and who is wanted by a lot of men, but then they quickly want to get you off the apps and they want to be the only one you're dating. And then, it's like it's the ones that have like controlling behaviors at least too.
Hmm.
And the reality is, we met on an app, sir. Like, I owe you absolutely nothing until we get to a point where we've established that, right? But it's crazy because they have these like very controlling mindsets, and it's like, well, you're out matching with other people as well. Why do you assume that I shouldn't? You know what I mean? It's very interesting. So for me, like the 90-day rule has been really great too because it's helped me kind of weed out the men that have those control issues because whenever I tell them like, no, I'm dating for 90 days, like I'm specifically giving this a try for 90 days and, I'm putting myself out there for 90 days. The ones that are unsettled by that and who don't want to have to deal with 90 days of competition, basically, you can weed those out really quickly. But it's been interesting also to me, instead of putting myself in a situation where I'm settling down into like more like relationships quickly, I'm dating more. And that's really fun too, because it's keeping me kind of like out in that open market, if that makes any sense. Whereas like more like before, I would have been like quicker to settle down and look for just one person. Now I'm kind of having like a more empowered experience too.
You know
So,
what? When you were talking, all I could think, like, you were talking about how these men on these apps expect you to just be only talking to them.
Hmm.
And
and we met on an app.
it just reminded me of when Cardi B said outside dudes love an outside chick, but they
Mhm.
be super mad when that outside chick finds some outside dick.
Hmm.
Yes.
They be
Yes.
hating that shit. They really do
They really do.
hate that you were they met you on the app.
Hmm.
They met you fabulous and fine,
Hmm.
but they hate that you stay on there after you
Hmm.
start talking to them.
But they want to stay on there. They just don't want
I don't,
you to.
I think they're
Especially when
insecure
you
about
look,
it.
and that's
Oh,
the thing. And I think whenever you have a certain look, they expect you to act a certain way too. So like they want me to play this like housewife role, but they want to still be out there looking for women that look like Jackie, you know?
and they want Jackie to play this vixen,
Hmm.
ready for sex all the time role. And you know what? Sometimes I just want to be at home in my jammies.
Hmm. Hmm.
They really expect us to fit in these fucking boxes because they're waffle brain sons of bitches. But that's neither here nor there.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying? But they really, really are. So let's talk about when somebody pushes your boundaries.
Hmm.
Say you're dating. What's his 6'5"? I'm calling him 6'5" because he is 6'5".
Until
And
we
she
get a
been
new
talking
name for him. 6'5".
she been talking about 6'5" for a minute,
Hmm.
right?
A
What
Hmm.
minute, a
happens?
minute.
What happens when if he pushes your boundaries? What do you say to a man that is pushing your boundaries? He wants to become more intimate with you. He wants to get on a deeper level with you, but it's too early for you. What is it that you're communicating to them that will stop them in their tracks?
Mm. Well, I mean, that's kind of a bad example because 6'5" is very respectful.
Right. We know.
He's kind of the exception to the rule. So I kind of, that's, that's not a good one, to be honest with you.
But if he's to push your boundaries,
But
in
yeah,
general, how are you holding up those boundaries? And Rachel, I want to hear from you too, because like, what is your go-to? Because I am one of those people, and I'm asking this question, you guys, because I'm one of those people who don't have a lot,
Hmm.
right? I'm on a sexual dating adventure. I am adventurous. I am going out. I am meeting people, and I'm doing wild things. So I don't have a ton of boundaries when it comes to like, oh, I'm not sleeping with you straight up, or
Hmm.
I'm not gonna meet your family right away, or something like that. What is it that you guys are doing? What is it? What's gonna be your go-to like script, Rachel,
Um,
Madeline, when
this,
somebody pushes your boundaries?
I think it's really understanding your boundaries internally. It's like to be like, okay, this is a hard stop for me, and boundaries are, like, like this is something I'm not going to do. They could do whatever they want, but just be like, hey, that's not for me. So I think it would just be like you could do a gentle correct of just like, ha ha ha, I'm not going to talk about that, or like we could talk about something else, or what have you. But if someone is just getting to the point where, like, again, they don't know it's a boundary if you do not tell them it's a boundary. So if you express to them, like, hey, I don't want to do that with you yet, or I don't want to talk about that with you yet, or what have you, and they still push, I swear to God, if I was at dinner, I would keep my purse close and say, will you excuse me for a moment? And just walk out. Um,
I love that.
and just be like, will you excuse me for a moment? And then just leave. Like that's the fantasy in my mind right now. It's like, would I do that or whatnot? But just always keep the purse close, and
yeah,
just because it's like, if it does not serve you, I'm like, am I being a dick? It's like, I'm never going to see this person again. It's totally fine. I do not
yeah.
care, you
You
know?
know, I was really proud of myself actually because, I had that situation. I went on a second date with, let's all call him golf guy.
Yeah.
I
We're calling him regular golf guy.
regular golf guy. Yeah. Our first date was so great and it was such a great experience and it was so fun getting back into the world of dating for the first time in 3 years, going and having that be like my first kind of experience back into it. Um, but the second date was so horrible and yeah, he I thought we were going to dinner, and then he brought me to a bar, a J. Alexander's, with some of his friends already there. And then he made comments that were like slightly sexual in nature, about how I was lucky I made it out of the house to dinner because I looked so good. He wanted to throw me down on the bed. And he made it loud enough for his friends to hear. And I was just sitting there like in shock. And right there in the moment, I was like, nothing about this is okay right
Hmm.
now. Like, I was like, nothing about this is okay. I was like, you will not speak to me this way. You like, like none of this is okay. Like, I was under the impression you were taking me to a dinner. I was like, we are sitting at a bar with your friends. Like, none of this is okay. And I waited and we got back to his place because I'd left some stuff at his place. And so I like collected my things. And yeah, I just had a bad gut feeling. And I just immediately just told him, I said, you know what? I said, I'm not feeling this any longer. And I just left. And I was really proud of myself because all I had to say was, I'm not feeling this any longer.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And
That's
like
hard
it just
to do.
came just like that. And that was the first time in my life, though, that I've literally just like, and I just got myself and just left.
You held that boundary so strongly that he has not stopped texting you.
Um,
Yeah. And besides,
He
he didn't even ask you if you were
is
ready to meet his friends.
first of all, and then he
right?
didn't one. Okay,
Just
let's just back
ambushed
it
you.
all the way up. He asked her on another date, didn't make reservations, and then ambushed her with all of his fucking friends and their behavior. And the fact
And
that she was
objectified you
just
in front
like,
of them.
And
yeah.
actually, it
And
gets
I
even worse too.
I know, oh, it gets worse. It does. I've heard the whole fucking story. But like Rachel, he objectified her. Like the way he did it is similar to the story that you told me where you were like, you weren't even objectified in front of people, but you were still
Hmm.
like this is not my vibe. Like you guys are very
Like, what about me made you think that was going to be
that
okay?
that was okay.
Yeah.
You not met me
Like,
multiple
I am
times.
not
It was
cool.
that same exact vibe. And she was just like, no, holding my boundary, holding
Hmm.
my standards. I'm leaving.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And is this man still obsessed with her? Yes. He sure as F is. Um, Rachel,
Yes, ma'am.
let's talk about when somebody pushes your boundaries and when you just cut them off without guilt.
Yeah.
What is your mindset when somebody pushes your boundaries, men specifically, or like in a dating situation? What is your mindset when they're trying to push you to go faster than you want to go? Like maybe you are in the same situation as Madeline and you are genuinely looking for a partner. Madeline is absolutely not just doing, you guys are not sleeping with men on the first date like I am.
Hmm.
And that is what it is. But when they're trying to push those boundaries and you're on your second, maybe third date,
Hmm.
how are you compartmentalizing that and then making sure that they're not pushing those boundaries?
It's one of these things where I will say I have a latex allergy and I do not have the luxury of just like there's one brand of condom that feels okay and comfortable for me, like, and I have to pack that myself, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like I can't just be very liberal with sex with like one night stands and whatnot. So it's like, and I do take my sexual health very, very seriously. So it's like if someone is saying like, hey, I'm not, hey, I want you, blah, blah, blah. My biggest thing is like, I need to be valued. And maybe this comes from purity culture growing up in it, but it's just like, I don't want to be a vessel in which you are masturbating with. Like, I need to feel special. I need to feel like this is an activity that we are doing together, not that something that is being done to me, you know?
Yes.
And maybe I need to unpack that a little bit more in therapy, but it's just like, I need to feel special. And I right now refuse to be a part of a roster. Like, whether it is monogamous, sexy time friends or in a relationship, like, we are going to do this together and only together. But like, yeah, I think it's more of like if you cannot talk about sex, you also shouldn't be having sex with somebody, you know? And in my last relationship, we were really open with talking about sex unabashedly and unashamed. And it was just like, I like this. How do you like this? Can I do something different for you? And that was very liberating and very refreshing. And it's like, I want that in my next relationship of that openness and that like, all right, you're gonna throw down. Like, I'm not gonna yuck your yum. I want to join in that too, you know? So, but
Yes.
it's also like if someone is not comfortable with the speed in which I hold myself, that person is not for me. Like I said, if I'm looking for a long-term relationship, what the fuck is really 90 days? If someone is to be a long-term investment in me, and if they can't invest 90 days into me, they don't need to invest 9 years into me either, you know, kind of thing. And so that's the thing when men are always like, women need to choose better. This is my time to vet and to choose. And so it's just like, hey, you know, I'm not saying we can't do other stuff, like we can have fun, you know, but it's also like that's not but again, I want to make sure that I am comfortable with you as a person and to go through dating is a vetting process of like, are you a strange psycho killer or are you a decent human being? You know, because I'm looking for that golden retriever. So it's just more of like, again, making yourself the priority and not doing anything just for validation or, oh, he'll like me or he'll pick me over everyone else that he's dating. I'm the chooser. So if you're going to mistreat me and my boundaries, you're not my man's, you know, next.
Yeah.
Someone else will. So it's just like, okay, again, you can if you don't know that that's a boundary, okay, let's talk about that and express that. But again, like let's but if someone is just trying to push too hard, it's just, plus it's like growing up in purity culture. I'm really used to saying no as like a teenager, you know, but it's just one of those things where I'm just like, hey, we can stop here, but also having in your mind that it's like, hey, I will he can kiss me, but he cannot touch me. Just knowing what my boundaries are that I'm willing to do before going in there so you don't have to decide it in the moment either. But again, if I want to just be like, yes, I cannot wait, like the chemistry is too much, then yeah, like but it's like everything about is me choosing and me being empowered in those choices and not going along with what someone else wants to do.
Yeah.
I'm the one choosing to have sex or not to have sex. I'm the one choosing what I want to do or not do. And it's not just going with the flow of like someone pressured me or they bought me a nice dinner. I'm like, yeah, that's the standard. And, you know,
Yeah. I come from a place that is much different from you guys. As you know, I date for very different reasons than you guys. I have found I feel like the difference between the way I date and the way you guys date is very much the bluntness in what I want and what I'm looking for. So like I will just tell men straight up, this is what I want, this is what I'm looking for.
hmm
The thing about that is it allows me to be more blunt in cutting somebody off.
yeah.
Would you
And
say
I
though,
think that is such a huge difference.
would you say though that you're looking for more of an experience though?
Yes.
See, and
Yes.
I
I'm
think that
looking for more of like, and not only just a singular experience, but
mhm.
also like multiple experiences. So I'm not just looking for sexual experiences. I'm also looking for like real world experiences. And if they can't give me, honestly, if they can't give me both, I don't want anything to do with it. So, my go to when it comes to like paces or cutting somebody off is straight up just, hey, we're looking for something different. I wish you the best.
Yeah.
I'm not comfortable with what you're looking for, or you are not going to be comfortable with what I am looking for.
hmm
And I love that part of the dating game that I'm in because I can just straight up say that and not feel super guilty, which I used to feel when I was looking for a partner. I felt guilty. I felt pressured. I think that my experience very much like I feel viewed as from men, I feel perceived by men in a very specific way. So I have to cut them off as soon as and in a almost a harsher way, more blunt, more upfront than just regular dating. And because I have to cut them off in a much more blunt and harsher way, I almost feel like the way I cut them off right at the get-go can be used. I feel like this is a form of empowerment by women who are genuinely looking for partners.
Yeah.
You
And
can
it's,
straight up say, actually, we're looking for something different. Thanks, but no thanks.
yeah, I'm not here to waste your time, you
I'm
know?
not here to waste your time. And one thing I've actually learned from the way I date for experiences rather than a partnership is they actually super appreciate that. Like, woman to man, you and I are not looking for the same thing. There
Hmm.
is no reason for us to go forward. They actually appreciate that bluntness. They appreciate that upfrontness from us because they don't know how our brains work. Their brains work like waffles. We've talked about this, Rachel. Our brains work like spaghetti, plates of spaghetti. So if you just give them I'm not actually interested in anything that you're offering box,
Hmm.
they go away without, and they don't even have hurt feelings. And we're just trying not to hurt people's feelings, but we should just be telling these dudes straight up,
Hmm.
no,
Yeah.
it's a
I
no.
th I think though, okay, I think that from where you're coming from, and I think there's so much to be said for, the physical connection playing into the relationship aspect of things as well. And so I think that you know, growing up in purity culture also, Rachel, I found myself in these like kind of like unfulfilling relationships because I would put so much time and energy in. And so then by the time I would get to the physical side of things and it wasn't really necessarily working, I didn't know how to communicate that. And I didn't have the vocabulary. And I already felt guilt about the fact that I was even engaging in such activities. So, like, I placed the burden back on myself instead of onto like the man or the relationship not working.
Hmm.
Um, and just kind of like internalized a lot of it a lot of the times. And so now that I've kind of deconstructed a little bit from religion and I've kind of become a little bit more empowered in my sexuality and I'm not like taking that as seriously now. And I do still take it very seriously. I take STDs and my body and everything incredibly seriously. But now that I've kind of taken those like time limits off also, it's interesting because I'm no longer wasting my time with people that don't fit. I'm no longer with giving the nice guy the chance for way too long,
Hmm.
right? Like,
Yeah.
and I think we also should probably talk about, and I hate to say this, but the fact that, a lot of guys who are not packing are going to be willing to kind of play these games and string you along a little bit longer
Yeah.
because they are not necessarily proud of what they have to offer. And like Jackie was saying earlier, too, you only date men that are already established in their careers and stuff like that for a reason. When you're a woman and you're dating a man that has inadequacy issues with his career, with his body, with whatever it is, he's going to be punching down onto you as a woman. Um, and so yeah, and Jackie, you actually said something earlier that kind of made me want to talk about this too. Like, as women getting into relationships, we do have to be careful because men will take out so many of their insecurities onto us and they will punch down onto us. And um, we really do need to be coming from it from such an empowered place because it can so quickly slip into something that is so dangerous for us as well.
Yeah.
And I don't think we should really ever, not take that part seriously. And I know that you do, but I just want to play devil's advocate on that too. So,
Absolutely. There's it, like, as my sister, Alexis, who we all love, who
Green
you
Dots
guys have
Goblin.
never,
Yeah.
the Green Gots got, we call her that for reasons. We'll tell you about it later, but she's
Mhm.
terrifying. What you know is she is 100% de-centered men, but what she will say straight up is like, hey, men will kill their wives.
Mhm.
They will kill them. And so that's why it's so important to really like have your boundaries, see those red flags. Don't look past them
Yeah.
ever. Make sure that you were saying
Trust to the
no
gut.
without any guilt.
Mhm.
None. It doesn't matter. If here's the thing, like sometimes like people have a hard time breaking it off with people who even they just started dating. They might like they're a nice person, but they're just like just a nice person. We're just going to be friends. We have to make sure to cut that off in a healthy way. As women, it feels like we have to make sure that to not only cut it off in a healthy way, but in a safe way,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
because we're putting ourselves into danger. It almost feels like we're putting ourselves into the pit
Mhm.
when we jump on these apps.
And every situation is different for me too. So it's hard for me to say that I have a rule with how I'm going to ghost or cut off or whatever it is. Like, sometimes ghosting is the healthiest and the safest option. And
Yes.
sometimes I do feel like I'm empowered enough to, if I've gone on a few dates and if I've gotten to know that person well enough, I do feel like I can give them some honest feedback. And I think that could probably help them in their future. But every situation is different. And I only give as much as I feel safe doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. It's about telling, I feel like sometimes we have to make people feel better almost because we're like women gen like
That's
in
the
general.
expectation for sure.
Yeah, we have to like baby them when we cut them off. Like,
To handle them
hey,
with kid gloves.
you're a really nice person, but I'm realizing this isn't quite right. Like, I sometimes wish I could be like, ew, block.
That's what I've been doing lately.
You can.
That's why I'm
It's
saying
so
it
fun.
because you've been doing that and it's been so inspired.
I'm like, you
That's just,
expect a woman to cook for you? A block.
ew, block.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely not. It's I feel like we're getting to a point where like we have to learn to be more blunt. We have to train out of ourselves as women in general, the people okay, can't talk. People pleaser aspect of our personalities when it comes to cutting these people out
Mm-hmm.
in order to even maintain our own like regular standard boundaries.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. It's like every experience feels like a lesson. And now let's get to like kind of the fun part of it. Let's get to the beauty actually of dating in our age range. Like while the pool is definitely smaller, the dating pool, and while holding our boundaries has been a challenge and what we're looking for is very very different from when we were in our 20s and the dating pool is very very different.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about like all of the super great things that are happening because of it, because Madeline, since you've been dating, I have actually seen an a, an increase almost of self-confidence, self-knowledge. Like you are owning your sexuality more than I have ever seen in my life. Like
Well, I got a
ever
tan
since we've
too.
known each other. Yeah, you got a tan.
I did get a
You're
tan,
like,
let's
I
be
am
real.
tan and I am in Pilates and I am, but you have like your confidence has, you've always been a confident girl. Do not get me wrong on that. You've always been a confident girl. But since you've been dating, a whole new leaf is turned over that I have seen, a whole new type of confidence has turned over that I love to see. So I want to know like what have you seen in yourself since you
Ooh.
started getting on the apps that you have really been like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'm bad at, like, I'm confident in this. Fuck yeah. I'm holding my back. What is it since you've been on the apps that you have been like, confidence, new level achieved.
That's such a hard question to be honest with you. Because I feel like the apps, if anything, are going to be breaking down your confidence. And so I think you have to stay so healthy on your own and stay so centered on what you're really looking for. Um, and so yeah, I don't know that the apps are really a source of confidence, to be honest with you. I think like my
Seriously?
girlfriends, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like, I get all of my confidence, all of my love, all of my energy
Hmm.
from my girls.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
But what builds, like, not so much my confidence, but more like my, like, I'm a bad bitch. I guess that is my confidence, is the line forming on the apps.
Mhm.
Like, there is a very long line on each of the apps I am on. Long.
Mhm.
The likes are 99 plus because they don't tell you how many likes you have. The paid messages are
Hmm.
99 plus. So I feel like the getting back on the apps has really given me a sense of ocean has a million fucking fish, you guys. Line is
Oh,
long as fuck. I'm not going to lower my standards. I'm not going to ask for anything in fact, I'm going to get more specific. The
Mhm.
line is so fucking long. My confidence. If y'all thought I was confident before I got on those apps, oh my God,
well,
I
okay.
have a big head.
So you keep on saying something. You keep on talking about how as we're aging, the dating pool is getting smaller. And something that's been really interesting for me is, I'm finally 35 and I've never been attracted to men my age. So I'm finally at the first time in my life actually attracted to men that are even like remotely age appropriate for me, like because my friends have always been older. I've always just kind of naturally gravitated towards that because of all the trauma.
Women of a
Yeah.
certain age, aging gracefully,
Yeah.
Grey.
So honestly, now it's like I'm kind of like excited because it's like actually for the first time I can date anybody my age or basically older. And so that's an interesting thing to kind of be coming at from the first time, like because yeah, I'll have a guy that I'll match with that's like my age, and then I'll have somebody that's like 20 years older that I'll match with as well. So um it's interesting because we try to tell women how, your option, you get more limited as you age, but I think it's actually very much the opposite now that I'm actually going through it myself. So I
Mhm.
did want to just bring that part up, but I already forgot what your question was. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just talking about how wonderful dating is. Like, it, listen, dating sucks. We get it. It sucks because we're constantly like, what are you doing? What's your favorite color? But at the same time, it kind of has boosted as far as my perspective, it's boosted my confidence because, like, I can get whatever I want. The line is long as fuck.
I
You
feel
know
like
what I mean?
I feel like I get my confidence from myself and my friends though from y'all. And so like
Girl.
I'm very self-validated, self-motivated, and I am happy to see that I'm actually meeting like quality people on the apps for once because in the
That's what I
past,
mean.
whenever
That's
I've
what I
had just
mean.
like the endless like numbers and then there's nothing of value there, it's just so disheartening because even though there's so much, when you really dig into it and you find nothing of real value, that it's so disheartening.
Yeah. So
So
the
yeah.
line, I don't mean it's a line full of losers.
Yeah.
I mean it's a line full of professionals
Hmm.
who have their shit together, who would love to get to know me.
Hmm.
And that's what I mean. I for a very long time I felt like like after my second divorce, I felt like I'm not really worthy of any of it. And now I'm in a place where I'm like, not only am I worthy, I'm too good for you motherfuckers. Like
Because you
that's what
are.
it's kind of, yeah, that's what it's kind of brought me. Like, y'all can stand in line. Go
Mhm.
ahead. And
Mhm.
it's got it, like, while I'll say it 100 times, my girls fill my cup, men drink out of it. So I don't need confidence from them as far as like male validation, but it has let me know like I don't have to worry about really being alone because there's a long ass line
Mm-hmm.
of men if I really wanted them. I
It may
don't.
not be what you want, but
I
there's a
don't.
line.
Right. There is a line there. Like
Yeah.
if I really didn't want to end up alone with my girlfriends, I
If I ever
do.
get desperate.
Side note is I actually do want to end up alone with my girlfriends.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Just go through this line. But I feel like since being back on the apps, as weird as the apps are that I am on, I feel very much validated in that, like, yeah, like if I don't want to end up single, like I could probably get married again. It's given me like, I don't know how to explain it. I guess maybe because my third husband was like, nobody's gonna want to date you. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's very much
Yeah.
like, really? Because there's 1,000 dudes in
Yeah.
to date me. So, it's kind of given me a little bit more confidence. Even if it's Rachel, if you start it for like the 90 days
Mm-hmm.
that Madeline has started it, I feel like because I've said this to you multiple times, like you don't even know that the line is there.
Yeah, right now I was like, I don't like again in my life, everything is so female centered, female doctor, female dog groomer, like I support the girls.
Everything.
I have
Yeah.
I have no male friends. Like
Yeah.
whoever does date me, just so lucky. Are you talking to anyone? Is there anyone in your past I need to know about? Absolutely not. So
Yeah.
it was just so I was like, no, it's clean slate, absolutely. So it's just like you tell me there is a line, but right now, like the line is non-existent because I haven't put myself out there. So it's like I need to get out of that lack mentality of just like, I don't know.
I feel like after a breakup, a lot of us go through this asexual period, and it
Hmm.
could be longer than
Hmm.
other people. Like Madeline's was very much 3 years of like, I don't have any fucking thing that you got. You don't have nothing to
Oh, I was
offer
so
me.
repulsed. I was
Yeah,
so
she was
repulsed.
she I remember when I first met Madeline, Rachel, she very much was like, they repulse me. I'm straight. I
Hmm.
am straight. I would love if I could not be straight, but I am, and I hate them, and I can't stand them, and I don't want nothing to do with them. And now she's very much in like this mindset that's like, okay, you guys might have one of you out there,
Hmm.
and the
There could be a
line,
handful.
there's a
Yeah.
handful out there for sure. I think for Madeline, I think for sure there's two handfuls. And it's because of what she's walking around with in her pants on a Sunday afternoon. She's all caked up. There's for sure at least two handfuls of men who want to live up to her standards. You know what I'm saying? And it's such like a and now Madeline is walking around with like a yeah, there is. Like a certain air, like,
Hmm.
and
You know
I
what
just
though?
I
Okay,
love seeing that in my girlfriends.
I do
It's
want
like
to
a
bring
no,
something up.
it's like a knowing, like I don't need you. I'm gonna end up with my girlfriends. But also, yeah, you
This could
do.
be fun
Yeah,
in the
you
meantime,
you want this.
right? You know, and there's something about the online dating too. Oh, damn it. I just totally forgot what I was about to say. I'm
Well,
sorry.
I'll take that over because there is something in online dating that releases us from societal expectations. Okay, you guys? Like, you
Oh,
don't necessarily have to go into these dating like Tinder. Tinder is we get it. It's clearly for hooking up that night.
Hmm.
Bumble is for girls who are like willing to like take that extra step and do the first message. I'm not one of those fucking girls. I'll
no,
fucking do that.
no.
Hinge, I've been on Hinge. Hinge very much seems like the place where people are looking to get into a relationship, but they don't want to pay for something like Match,
Hmm.
right? And then field is very much for people who are either already in like partnerships, they're open for new sexual experiences, and then like a website like Seeking that is very specific. Like this is a sugar daddy, the transactional relationship, and you're okay with it. And that level, like there's different tiers of each type of dating site that you're willing to be on. And I feel like genuinely I had my biggest boost of relationship minded men on Hinge. Right? Like
Yeah.
it seems like that's where they all are, is Hinge.
Well, and so another thing I want to bring up too, because I keep on like wanting to bring this up and it keeps on escaping me. But you know, when you're actually decentered from men, like I am, like, and when you legitimately just like hate the majority of them, because that is the reality. There are incredible ones out there, right? But for me,
Yes.
and I was even talking about this yesterday with 6'5". I hate that I'm calling him that now.
We're calling him 6'5". We can also call him Lakeside. I feel like Lakeside is also a great one.
Okay.
But it's your choice. You have to name him.
I
We
think I
don't
need to
name
come up
him,
with a new
you
name,
do.
but for now we'll keep him as 6'5". But I was bringing it up to him. He was asking me about like the online dating and why I made the choice to do online dating. And I was like, it's not that I really wanted to make the choice, but it was more just like I was going about my daily life and I don't like men interacting with me in daily life. I don't want them meet cute. You know what I mean? Like I think that I do, but in reality, I don't. Anytime it happens, I freak out and I never have makeup on and like you know what I mean? Like I'm dressed like Adam Sandler and the reality is I don't really want that in my life. And so what I really want is to be able to go about my daily life and be respected and like the type of man that I really want to meet is probably off doing his own thing alone. And we're never going to meet unless I get on some type of an app and put myself out there in that way. Right. So I think that was just kind of the thing that I came to. It was like, yeah, I do go to nice bars and sit at nice restaurants and eat alone and put myself in those situations, but I don't even want men to talk to me in those situations, and I don't even put the energy out there. And I'm honestly repulsed if they do. It's like, what do I look like to you? I'm not even putting this energy out, sir. So it's like I have to get on dating apps at this point.
I love that.
You
I
know?
love that. That is actually my favorite because you literally sit there with the fuck off.
Yes.
Like,
And golf guy, actually, we did meet in person. And
that was a meet cute golf guy.
But then we matched later on the app when I got on the app later. And I asked him later, I was like, well, why didn't you ask for my number that first night whenever I met you? Because he even like sent me home with a cheeseburger to go and all. He was so funny.
It was a meet cute.
It was
Rachael.
really cute.
He sent her home with a to-go cheeseburger.
He did.
Oh, I'm in.
I know, it was really cute. And he was really cute. But yeah, no, I was like, why didn't you ask for my number? Like, try to make anything happen then if you were gonna like match with me on an app anyway. And he was like, you were not giving out the vibes that I should be asking for a number. He was like, you scared me. Like,
oh, you're terrifying.
You're excellent.
To be clear, when Madeline came to visit me, a man told us we were at like an event where we could shop. And a man looked at us and said, you guys can get whatever you want. And she giggled maniacally, Rachael. Maniacally. And she said, that's so cute that you think we don't already know that. Beach. I was like,
oh,
that's when he said it. I was just like,
that's
sir,
my girl.
That is so cute.
She laughed in his face, Rachael. She was like, it's so cute that you think we need to be told that.
But he also looked like a Jason Momoa type too. So he was not used to women. Like, and I'm not attracted to that type.
Fuck,
He was
Rachael.
your type.
He was so gorgina. I was just like,
she was drooling and I was just laughing.
And she was just laughing at him right to his face.
With things I could do to that man.
Destroy his soul. consume it and destroy it. And he would be like, yes, please, mommy. Oh my God. All right. We have gotten through all of our talking points, all of
Yes,
them.
ma'am.
Now we're going to go on to, let's go to last thoughts. And
Mm-hmm.
we'll just start from the top. We're going to go from Rachael, Madeline, me. Let's go. What are your last thoughts? What are your closing thoughts for this dating on these apps in our age group? What is it for you?
Um,
What
in your 40s, I think you know yourself better than you ever have. And it's just like you don't owe anyone anything. Like, do whatever you want when you're ready. Like, you're on a specific app. Madeline is back on the apps. We've established that I am not yet. So it's like, I'm not going to do anything until I feel that I'm ready for it. And then once I'm out there, it's like, again, then I'm not doing anything that I am not ready for. But also, it's to take that intentionality with you when you do it. Know what you want. So then you know what to ask for when you are out there. Because this is
yeah,
not the time to go with the flow. Not for
it
me,
is.
anyways.
No, not in 2025.
Mm-mm.
Madeline, what do you got?
Mm, I'm so good at getting it out in the moment. I think I think for me, I think my biggest takeaway right now is I think I've been so future focused for so long, and I think, getting to the age of 35 and kind of giving up control as well, and just kind of enjoying it and just living a little bit more in the moment and not being so focused on an outcome. Um, and just kind of experiencing all different types of people and different experiences. I think, but also having really firm boundaries. I think when you are rooted, like Rachel's saying, and you're kind of coming from a more grounded place, you can actually really have a lot of fun. And dating can be a lot of fun. And I think it should be fun. And if it's not fun, we need to be taking a step back and reevaluating and coming from it from a different place again.
Yeah.
Um, so I think that's probably what I've learned.
I super resonate with that. If you're not having a great time dating, you need to reevaluate what you are looking for and what you want. So that's my thing. Like, I was dating at first to find some kind of partnership, and then I realized very quickly that that's just not what I wanted. You guys genuinely are dating for partnerships. Go onto these apps. Look for the app if you're going to go to the apps.
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, if you're going to go to the apps, know exactly what you want. Go to the app that caters to exactly what you want. And my
Yeah.
second thing is, don't go to the apps first. Don't go to them first. Meet people in person. Be open. Make eye contact with people.
Eh, eh,
Long, I know.
eh.
Listen, it's brought me a lot of really, really good luck. Make long, especially like, here's the thing. My luck has come from traveling and making eye contact with people in different places, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that is genuinely my advice. Like, figure out what you want first, but before you get on those apps, make eye contact and talk to real people, meet them in person. That is my only thing, because we take for granted people in real life.
Mm-hmm.
And if we are going to go into a mindset where we want to meet people who might be our partners, we didn't always have social media.
Mm-hmm.
We had to meet people in person. So try it. Try it for 30 days. Try just doing, if you are planning on getting on the apps and you're not going to do a full 3 years the way Madeline has done, if you're not going to do a full year, you know what I'm saying? Make your own schedule, go on your own trips, travel by yourself, and meet people in person so that you can understand who you are. And then when you are ready to get on those apps, get on the ones that are made for you. Do not get on the ones that are not made for you. So if you are just looking for a certain thing,
Mm-hmm.
get on that app. There are apps for fucking everything. Do not get on the app for marriage if that's not what you're looking for. In other words, you
Yeah.
know, get on the app. Like if you're going to get on the apps that are going to make you happy, that are going to bring the people that you want to meet to you so that you can sift through those people. That's my main takeaway. Madeline, your turn.
I think I already have my turn.
Oh, yeah, you did have your turn.
Yeah.
My bad. I've been shuffling and
I
drinking
love
rum.
it. I love it so much. Yeah. No,
Rachel,
I
go
love all
ahead
of
and
this.
do our closure then, since I've been shuffling and it's time for magic.
You have been shuffling those cards so much, so that concludes the whiskey bent portion, and we have had quite a bit on this show. And it brings us to the spellbound portion of the podcast. So, Jackie, are you ready for the
I'm
tarot
so
pull?
Girl, I'm so ready.
I'm
I'm
ready
so
for
ready.
Spirit's blessings.
Listen, but if you love the podcast and you want even more chaos, you have to join us on Patreon. Rachel, remind me how much the Patreon is because listen, the maker's mark.
It's hitting. I know. The Patreon is $3.95 a month plus tax. So I know it's a little bit to you, but it does mean everything to us. So your support keeps us creating the extra content that you love, bonus episodes, unfiltered combos, and even the juicy bits that didn't make it into the main feed. Mwahaha. So everything is linked below if you'd like to join our Patreon, and we would love it if you did and support our coven. You can become part of the inner circle. We've saved you a seat. Yes.
Yeah.
Are
So
you
let
ready
me
for
tell
the
you,
tarot poll?
am I? Okay. So I'm so ready, but I have to tell you, while we were chatting, so I'm going to pull 3 cards, but while we were chatting, 3 very powerful feminine cards came out while we were
Ooh.
chatting. So like I'm going to read both sets is
Mm.
basically what I'm telling you. So I'm going to pull 3 now and then I'm going to read the 3 that jumped out. The 3 that jumped out literally are just like, let me just show you what these cards look like. It's insane. It's so scary. Like, first of all, we have, God, I don't know if you guys can
There it
see
is.
it. You see, look
Yeah,
at
right
her.
there. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's Temperance. Look at her. That is 8 of Swords. Look at her.
Ooh.
Scary, right? Look at her. And Rachel, we have pulled her several freaking
Mm.
times. The Queen of Staff.
Yeah.
Look at
Wands.
these. Look at these. Look at these empowered women. Okay. That's these are the ones that
Love.
actually jumped out while we were yapping
Mm-hmm.
about things.
Interesting.
I
I love a
know. So
jumper.
I'm gonna read these and then I'm gonna pull 3. So
Okay. So the first one is the
the 3 cards. So let's go
okay.
ahead and do that since did I just do 4?
Okay.
3.
3 enough.
Okay. 3. We have the 7 of staff, 7 of wands. Why I
Wands.
keep saying fucking staff. 7 of wands.
Okay.
7 of wands. That is the King of Cups in reverse.
Hmm.
Oh God, I just dropped it. Okay. And then final is Knight of Swords in reverse.
Okay.
So,
Like 3 feminine and then 3 masculine cards.
and then 3 masculine
Right?
cards.
Mhm.
Very, very interesting. So we have 7 of wands. Let me look these up. I don't have any of these memorized. And
That's all right.
I'm drinking a little, so it is
Yeah.
what it is. Oh, okay. 7 of wands has to do with movement.
Okay.
He's on his way. He's on his new path. He actually is just getting advice for which
Hmm.
direction he's going after like a struggle, after like a time of quick movement, after quick decisions. he's wondering which way he should go, which path he should take. It's about like, don't make quick decisions, Rachel. Don't make quick decisions.
That's exactly what I
Anybody,
was thinking.
right? Like if you're gonna get on the apps, don't swipe right
Mhm.
away.
Yeah.
Like be chill with it. Be super like, oh, like keep your standards, keep your
Hmm.
boundaries. We talked about those a lot. Okay, so now we have the goddamn King of Cups
Reverse.
in reverse, and we know reverse means stuff is like falling out of our cup. Reverse means anything we had in our
Oops.
cup is falling out. So the King of Cups has to do with like forward momentum, but then upside down, we might feel like there's been like some kind of manipulation, some kind of like, I don't know the direction.
Hmm.
I've been misguided. So be patient in your path
Yeah.
because you might not be getting the right internal or external guidance. So really genuinely like when you're not getting if you feel like if you are feeling like you are not getting the right guidance externally, take a quiet moment and focus on what you think that guidance should be. That will come to you. Don't rush things. Don't rush getting on the apps. Don't rush getting into a relationship. Figure out what that path is and never ever feel like you're being pressured into taking whatever path people are saying that you should take. And
Hmm.
then finally is this is the Knight of Swords? Yeah, Knight of Swords. Let's see what this says. Knight of Swords. It's about action. It's about ambition. It's about what you want to happen.
Hmm.
It's about staying focused on that goal. Okay. So basically what these cards are saying, like, you want to date. You do.
Hmm.
And people might be forming your plan for you, but don't rush into it because the action, the ambition, it's already there. Don't listen to whatever anybody else has to say. Your internal guidance knows what the next step is. This is about like yeah, that's it. That's all I want to say. You know what the next step is.
Hmm.
Don't let anybody tell you what the next step is.
Yeah.
That's actually, don't rush. Move forward at your own pace. You know what your boundaries are. That's what I feel like these ones are. All these male centered motherfucking cards. Okay. These are very, very male centered. Let's get on to these ladies. Okay. So the first one is Temperance. Temperance. Okay. First of all, let's look at her for a second. She's pouring uh her potion, her strength, her what do you call it? Like energy. It feels
Hmm.
like she's like
Hmm.
pouring it in and out of these. And she stands in like all of her power and like you can kind of see her wings are out.
Yeah.
You can't fuck with me. I know exactly what I have. You can't fuck with me. It
Mhm.
is
She has like a quiet
patient.
power about her.
Yes, perfect actually read on this.
Hmm.
There is a quiet power. It's about finding patience. It's about being meaningful in your next step. So don't you know what your path is. Don't let people rush you because you know what your next step is going to be.
Hmm.
Think about that next step that you genuinely want to take. Don't listen to anybody else, but whatever this is telling you on the inside, whatever your guts are telling you. Like
Hmm.
it feels like I know what to do, but there's a lot of chatter out here. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
This one scares the shit out of me because
A little bit.
does she not look like goddamn Edward Scissorhands?
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of.
Now, which
Is
one is
this
that one? That's the Seven of Swords, is
this
that
is
right?
Eight of
Eight
Swords.
of Swords?
Eight of Swords. And she's like super creepy with all okay, she's so creepy. I love this deck because she is so creepy. But she kind of has all of this power. All of these swords are like just in the ground,
Hmm.
stable, right? But doesn't she? Okay, how do I explain the way this card looks to me? Doesn't she look like a puppet master,
Hmm.
right? Doesn't it look a little bit like she could be holding up more than what she is actually showing? Almost like I got you here. So be be super patient in what you want because once you get on that apps, there's going to be a little bit of deception. That's what this card represents. This card represents like the deception, and Madeline touched on it a lot when we were talking when it comes to the way men present themselves, right? Like this card to me says like you might know what you want, you might be super patient in what you want, but you got to be careful because men are going to be so fucking deceptive about what they want that they're going to tell you what you want to hear so that they can act as like a puppet master
Hmm.
almost. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Anyways, finally we have the Queen of Swords, or sorry, Queen of Wands. Look at her. Powerful.
She's a
Hmm.
boss.
She's
Dude,
ready.
is she not the creepiest bot? First of all,
That's fire energy too.
Murder of Crows actually has the creepiest energy, but this power that she stands in is everything I could fucking want. Like I don't actually need the power of my scepter. It is the body that I inhabit that gives me all of my power. And like I might have the scepter, but
Hmm.
I know where I'm going. I have the determination. I know my path. And that genuinely is what the this Queen of Wands has to tell you is that you have the determination. You know what you want. You know where you want to be in the future. You know that what you want is out there. Don't take any less.
Hmm.
Make sure that you're following your intuition because you know exactly what these men are out here doing. They're out here trying to fucking manipulate you,
Hmm.
but you have this goddess energy on your side. I feel like I need to say to these two women who are on these apps, you have this goddess energy on your side. Do not let any fucking man manipulate you. This, by the way, popped out. This card. Look at this card, you guys.
Hmm.
As I was shuffling, this card popped out. Don't let any of these men manipulate you, make you feel like you need to be whatever they are expecting you to be. We
Hmm.
fill our own cup. We know what we want. We know how to get there. The power is within us. Absolutely nothing guides us except for our own intuition because it is given to us by God, because we are the closest creature that has ever existed to God. So we shall listen to our intuition. And that is the reading.
Love,
Mm.
love it.
So
I'm gonna use that.
I love that. I actually love that all those and genuinely those last three cards, all male, while we were talking, all lady cards. All
Hmm.
of them were like, yes, sister, we hold our boundaries. We know what we want. We go with our intuition. Like it just felt like spirit was just like, go with your intuition. Do not listen to these men. Hold your boundaries. I fucking love a reading like that. I love it. Anyways, that's the reading.
That's the
That's
reading. That
it.
is the
That's the
show.
magic. That is the show.
I love it.
Well,
Thank you so much for having me on. This was so wonderful.
Thank you.
yes, thank you, Madeline, for joining us and giving us all your insight.
It was, listen, she's got such an interesting perspective.
Mhm.
I genuinely feel like I learned so much from her because she has such an advanced perspective and she has such a different lifestyle than I have lived. So I wanted to make sure that other women heard her perspective. And I am
Absolutely.
just so glad that Madeline, that you came on and talked about your experience and your perspective. And then also the way you talked about your boundaries and what your standards are, I think is so important for other women to hear. So thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah. I hope everyone is empowered and, you know, I think while it's important to have standards and boundaries and all those things, I think it also is important to take everything in like by case basis too. Because you really just, you can never be safe enough and you never know what you're really dealing with too. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
No.
Well, thank you for listening to another fantastic and fabulous episode of Whiskey Bent
Spellbound with Black.
and Whitefield.
Love
Love
you.
you.
Bye.
Bye.